My best friend's husband deliberately sabotaged my wedding by hiring a caterer, who served food that gave half the guests food poisoning. I'd known Rachel since college and we'd been through thick and thin together. When she got married, I was the maid of honor, and I took my responsibilities very seriously. I helped her with every aspect of the wedding planning, from choosing the venue to selecting the perfect wedding dress. But what I didn't know was that her husband, Alex, had been having an affair with one of the wedding planners, and he wanted to ruin the wedding to avoid getting caught. As the big day approached, I started to notice that something was off. The caterer, who Alex had hired without consulting Rachel or me, seemed shady. He was always evasive when I asked him about the menu or the ingredients he was using, but I brushed it off, thinking that maybe I was just being paranoid. The day of the wedding arrived and everything seemed perfect. The venue was beautiful, the decorations were stunning, and the atmosphere was joyful. But as the guests started to eat, I began to notice that something was wrong. People were complaining about stomach cramps, nausea, and diarrhea. At first I thought it was just a minor issue, but as the night wore on, it became clear that something was seriously wrong. I was devastated. I had never felt so helpless in my life. I didn't know what to do, and I felt like I was watching my best friend's special day turn into a disaster. Rachel was frantic, and Alex was nowhere to be found. I took charge and started to investigate what had happened. I discovered that the caterer had used spoiled ingredients, and that Alex had known about it all along. He had deliberately sabotaged the wedding to avoid getting caught with his mistress. I was furious. I couldn't believe that someone I had considered a friend could do something so cruel and heartless. As the night wore on, the situation only got worse. The guests were getting sicker and sicker, and the paramedics had to be called in to take some of them to the hospital. Rachel was heartbroken, and I didn't know how to comfort her. I felt like I had failed her, like I should have seen this coming. But as I looked around at the chaos and destruction, I realized that this wasn't my fault. This was Alex's doing, and he needed to be held accountable. I confronted him, and he broke down and confessed. He had been having an affair, and he had sabotaged the wedding to avoid getting caught. The aftermath of the wedding was difficult. Rachel was devastated, and she didn't know if she could ever forgive Alex. I was angry and hurt, and I didn't know if I could ever trust him again. But as we worked through the aftermath of the disaster, I realized that this experience had taught me a valuable lesson. It had taught me that sometimes, the people we trust the most can hurt us the deepest. But it had also taught me that with the right support and the right mindset, we can overcome even the toughest challenges. Rachel and I worked together to rebuild and recover, and in the end our friendship came out stronger than ever. As for Alex, he learned a hard lesson about the consequences of his actions. He lost Rachel's trust, and he had to work hard to regain it. He also had to face the legal consequences of his actions, as some of the guests sued him for the harm they had suffered. It was a difficult and painful process, but in the end it made him a better person. He realized that his actions had hurt not just Rachel, but also the people they cared about, and he made a commitment to never again prioritize his own desires over the well-being of those around him. The experience also made me realize the importance of being vigilant and proactive in protecting the people and things we care about. I learned that it's not enough to just assume that everything will be okay, or that someone else will take care of things. We need to take responsibility for our own lives and the lives of those around us, and we need to be willing to speak up and take action when we see something that's not right. In the end, it was a difficult and painful experience, but it taught me a valuable lesson about the importance of trust, loyalty, and accountability.